Kate, we've had some close games this weekend. Let's start at GMHBA Stadium. It was a wet and windy afternoon down in Geelong with a potential top four matchup, and the Cats got over the line.
Yeah, look, it did blow out to a 24-point margin, but it was a pretty tight and scrappy game down at GMHBA Stadium. Obviously, not conditions that the Gold Coast Suns would be accustomed to, nor I think they enjoyed, but it was the ability for the Cats to just pile on some goals late, which really did blow out the margin. Stengel kicked 4, and in the fourth quarter, they really did just dominate and assert their ascendancy on this Gold Coast Suns team and got the job done again down at Cardinia Park. And the Gold Coast Suns still yet to win down there in their 9 trips down the highway.
There's a lot of people at Geelong yet to taste a win in Geelong. The Cats kicking 4 of the last 5 goals. There was a flashpoint late in this game with Tom Stewart's bump on Gold Coast skipper Noah Anderson. Anderson was forced from the field as a result of this. He went for scans after the game on a chest injury, completely cleared of concussion. So nothing wrong here with the head in terms of either the whiplash, making contact with the head, or the head hitting the ground as a result of this incident. Do you think he's got anything to worry about from a match review perspective?
I don't personally, but with MRO you're never quite sure. But I just think it was a very, very good bump. Asserted himself on the player when he attacked the ball, but I just think he didn't get his head. Yes, the margin for error is slight with that, but I don't think he made any contact. As we've seen, there's no concussion issues to come out of it. I just think it was a good hip and shoulder and probably one of the best bumps we've seen for the year.
Well, throughout this game, Geelong left an extra man in defence. Gold Coast let them do that. Damien Hardwick was asked after the game in terms of whether or not he thought about matching up on the 7th defender and didn't want to do it. He said he was comfortable playing 6v7, but in the end it proved the difference for Geelong because they ran the ball out of defence quite often.
Yeah, we know how, I guess, they love to set up their defence with the spare defender behind the ball. Oftentimes we see a certain player in Tom Stewart be the dominant force back there, as we're seeing a few of his highlights, but it was a fairly even share as to who got the intercept possession. So Henry had 10, Stewart 8, Humphries had 5, De Koning 5, even Holmes and Atkins had 5 each. So it was a different role for each of them, and they were happy if they were found as the spare to just fly. I think it was a bit of the tale of two parts for this one. It was really poor ball use going inside forward 50 from the Gold Coast Suns, but if Geelong, you're going to allow them to have a spare that flies, they're going to make you pay, and then they're able to rebound off that half back line and set up their attack from there.
Let's get to your Saturday king, Kate, and it is Tom Atkins, the tackle king at Geelong.
He is the tackle king. He's the tackle king of the competition at the moment. He had 23 disposals, 8 clearances, 8 tackles, 6 score involvements, and he's just everywhere. I think he's a player that, with the superstars that you have through the midfield for Geelong, he does tend to fly under the radar, but he allows the likes of Bailey Smith, who we didn't see tonight, which we'll get to in a minute, but Brian Myers, Max Holmes, they're the metres gained players at Geelong. The reason they can be those players is because of what we see Atkins do in and under. And coming into this round, he's laid 124 tackles in 13 games. And since we've had champion data in the competition to take those stats, no player has ever had that by round 13 in an AFL season to this point. So
remarkable, isn't it?
Tackling machine he is.
Yeah, can't believe that from Tom Atkins, an unsung hero down there at the Cattery. Bailey Smith, as you touched on, Kate, was a late out from this one. So this is last week against West Coast. Feels at his hamstring late in that game against the Eagles. Comes off a 6-day break travelling back from Perth. Felt at it before the game as well. Didn't take part. Ted Closey came into this one and played the match as a late inclusion for Bailey Smith. They've got Essendon next week. They've got Brisbane the week after that. Then they have their bye. So 2 weeks until that bye for Geelong. So you have to wonder whether or not Bailey Smith makes it back before that point in time.